All right, let me see how we're looking at here. We should be good to go. Y'all know what to do. Oh, I forgot to put the chat out there. Oh my goodness. I forgot to put the chat on the screen. Dang. Drop a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me. We're gonna get into it eventually if I could get this thing working. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that I forgot to put y'all up on the screen. But shout out to everybody that's in here. Thank y'all for dropping the 1s in the chat, and welcome to another YouTube live stream and another episode of the ClassE Morning Show. I'm your host, ClassE, of patreon.com/ClassEbeats. By the way, the link is in the description as well as in the pinned comment in the chat. Today we've got a lot of news. Sad situation here with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. As many of you know, we covered it on yesterday's show, and we're going to be talking about it again today. There has been some more updates on this shooter. It looks like they've actually found and arrested the shooter. And there's a wild story that happened behind the shooter being apprehended. We're going to get into that shortly. We're also going to hear from Markel's mother, just in an interview with STS. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to hear from Lacaus himself. So shout out to everybody who's in the building. Let me see if I could get these chats up here. Sorry, y'all. I should have been more prepared. This is my first time live streaming, so y'all gotta give me some grace here. There we go. First, as always, we gotta show some love and shout out to my awesome, amazing Amy is up in here. Reminding y'all to like the video. We got Mary's in the building, CPEs, J Money, the big dog is back at it. Shout out to Mary, Slim Life, Les Cleaver is in here. Good to see all of y'all, man. We got Trisha in the building. Virginia Wiley is up in here. Who else do we get? I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. I see all the green in the chat as well. Shout out to the members. We've got oh, I don't know how to pronounce that. How do you say that name? I'm missing it. Serotonin, what's up? Shout out to Serotonin in the building as well. All right, I'll be saying good morning and what's up to y'all as we go throughout the show. If you haven't yet, please make sure you like the video. I don't ask for much on this show, but the number one thing I ask is that you all like the video. Likes are free, helps the channel continue to grow, lets the algorithm know that y'all are enjoying the show, and it shares the video and the channel with more people. 500 plus of you have already done that. Maarig? What happened to the E? Are we just not pronouncing that? Is it Miarig? I don't know. Shout out to M. Shout out to MK. We're gonna call you MK for today. I don't know. I tried. Either way, thank you to everyone that's liked the video. If you're feeling extra generous, you can share the video as well. I know so many of you have already shared it out on Instagram, on X, on Facebook, and even to your group chat. So thank you to everyone who's done that as well. I will also be reading super chats as we go throughout the show. And thank you to everyone that sent in the super chat as well. Let me see if I could check out and find, I think I saw a couple of super chats in here. Shout out to Slim Life, New Jersey in the building. With the 10 bomb to start the show, she says, good morning, ClassE, Amy, and my amazing CEB family. Have a blessed day, everyone. Every sunrise is another chance to shine, and God makes it all possible. Amen. Thank you, ClassE, the GOAT. Much love to all of you. Shout out to Slim Life. Thank you for the continued support, for showing up every single day, for real. Slim Life doesn't miss a day. We've got Mary in here as well. Shout out to Mary with the 4 bomb. Says, thank you, ClassE and Amy and all other wonderful people. Thank you for the support, Mary, and for showing up as well. Shout out to Mary. She's a part of the Living Under the Rock gang. We're out here trying to figure out what's going on in this wild world, and then we just go right back under there like Patrick Starr. We got In Blue is in the building too. Good morning, In Blue. It's I'm Ethiopian. My name. Oh, okay. Shout out to Ethiopia in the building. Yeah, I'm gonna get better at pronouncing names one day. Today's probably not that day. All right. So thank y'all again. We're gonna go ahead and get right into the content because we've got a lot to cover. So let me see. I wonder if they're gonna allow me to do this today. Let me see. I'm gonna try and make sure I get y'all taken care of with these videos. I just don't want to start having an issue like we have the last couple of days. So we'll give it a shot and get into it here. So as many of you know, and we have been covering here on the channel, very sad situation. Almost 48 hours ago, Charlie Kirk was assassinated speaking at a college in Utah. Now, there was a lot of speculation going around about who the shooter was, how they arrested, and, well, I should say they apprehended several different people thinking they were the shooter. Turned out they weren't. So then we had more information come out about the shooter, and we actually had a press conference this morning from the governor of Utah and the FBI. We even got to hear from the head of the FBI, as we're going to see here shortly. But to give you guys a little background of what happened, we're going to get into this video from CBS News in Miami, giving you guys an update. Check this out.
This morning, we have a better idea of how this shooting unfolded. Well, just before noon, the shooter arrives near the campus there. This is right when Charlie Kirk's event was starting. Then about a half hour later, Kirk is shot in the neck while speaking. He's then rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Then take a look at 2:40. Officers start searching for the shooter. This was near the campus after dispatch put a call out saying that they were describing someone being seen running on a roof. Then just before 5 o'clock Eastern time, President Trump announced Kirk's death.
Yeah, and we're going to get into some of the video from the person who allegedly shot Charlie Kirk running across the roof. But let's go ahead and get into the press conference here from the governor of Utah, and we're going to hear from the FBI as well. Check this out. So sad, man.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. At today's press conference, we will hear from Governor Cox, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Sheriff Mike Smith. We also have with us Utah DPS Commissioner Bo Mason, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, FBI Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, and local and federal law enforcement partners. Following the remarks today, Governor Cox, Director Patel, and Commissioner Mason will take questions. Thank you.
Finally, we get questions today. And that's the governor, Governor Cox up there.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th. In which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. Man. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to to visually watching the area where a rifle
Wait, receiving a rifle from who? Oh, we got to run this back. Who did he get the rifle from?
Him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate.
Wow.
These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there's been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well, and I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital OWO, what's this question mark?" Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read,
"Disgusting,
Oh,
man.
Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow, Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who has worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time.
A lot of people helped find this person too.
To find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah, but I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone over to the director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Yeah, who was he receiving the rifle from? Where did he get the gun? It's Kash
Thank you,
Patel.
Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilized these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11.
Wow.
The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m., where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period.
I don't know.
And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency.
Mm-hmm.
The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we need to bring to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver it to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI. And we are running out every single lead that we can.
That's a lot of leads.
Every one of those leads will be run out.
Dang.
The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake field office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions, and we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk.
His friend?
Rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Yo, Charlie Kirk was friends with all these people? I did not know this. Again, I had limited information about Charlie Kirk, but it seemed like he had a huge influence in the political arena. Because the director of the FBI saying that was his friend, I was surprised to hear that one. But maybe it's because I haven't followed it closely.
Thank you, and good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, a complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community, because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family, because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you, everybody, for everybody that have stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this.
They did a great job with this investigation, though, for sure.
I also want to give a special thanks to the Attorney General and the Department of Justice. Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice
and the AG
is shown
was
true
involved
here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not have been able to complete our mission. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here, and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere. And every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And It was, as anger pushed me to the brink,
it's weird
it was
to
actually
see.
Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people love Charlie. And young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage.
Yep,
it feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable.
Yeah, I don't know about that. There might be a couple people.
All of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns. You know, this bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year.
This is starting to get weird, Governor.
But it did happen here. And it was one of us.
I get what you're saying, but dang.
But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last 2 nights. There was no rioting. There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There was no violence. There were
somebody's
vigils
gonna feel attacked on that one.
and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes, because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please, please, please follow what Charlie taught me. I'll just conclude with
Surprised he said
with words I
MAGA
share
like
often
that.
from
Come on.
author Yuval Levin, who was asked if he was optimistic about our country. And he said, I'm not optimistic. He said, I hate optimism. Like, that sounds bad. But he said, optimism is a vice. It's this idea that good things are just going to happen. And he said, in the history of the world, good things have never just happened.
That's true.
He says, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. And hope is the virtue that sits between the vices of optimism and pessimism. Hope is the idea that good things are going to happen because we can make them so. I still believe in our country. And I know Charlie Kirk believed in our country. I still believe that there is more good among us than evil. And I still believe that we can change the course of history. I'm hopeful because Americans can make it so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Wow. Well said. Most of it.
I cannot speak to that right now. Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "catch fascist," there's not. And by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this.
Yeah.
That's. I think that speaks for itself.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating. Please. This level of hatred that this person expressed. Beyond that, is there anything in your view that you discovered that may have radicalized or changed him or prompted him to commit such a horrific?
There's nothing more that we can share at this time.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating with a friend on Discord about the gun. Do you anticipate any more arrests?
We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests.
Do you believe he acted alone?
Yes, but the investigation is ongoing.
How he came into custody of police and where he is right now?
Yes, so right now, Mr. Robinson has been booked into the Utah County Jail. You heard the president this morning report that he was taken into custody, that his family and a friend helped to deliver him into custody of law enforcement in Washington County. Those of you that don't know where Washington County is, it is the southwesternmost part of the state of Utah. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him in. Please, I'll go here.
Wow.
I can't share any more than what I've already shared. Yeah. So how we obtained the gun was found here. So I don't have much more details on that. We do know that he drove. We had his car here
he drove
on
3
campus,
hours and some change.
and then we had his car going south back to the St. George. It's actually the city of Washington in Washington County.
Is he talking with authorities and did he discuss a road?
I'm sorry? We don't have any information that would lead us to believe that. Yes, in fact, it was just released. Yes.
There's the mugshot.
I can't answer that right now. Yeah, thank you. Over here. I absolutely believe that this is a watershed in American history. Yes. The question is, what kind of watershed? And that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history, or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history? Look, I mean, if you look at true political assassinations in this country of someone of this stature, this feels a lot like the late 60s, and having one so gruesomely displayed on camera in all of our hands and in all of our pockets. We are not wired as human beings biologically, historically. We've not evolved in a way that we are capable of processing those types of violent imagery. And by the way, we've seen another one with a gruesome stabbing very recently that went viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer. on our society right now. And I would encourage, again, I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass,
Social media is
hug
a
a family
cancer.
member,
Do y'all
go out and do
agree?
good in your community. That is happening, and it's happening organically right now. I had a friend in a small city in Utah who said, we're getting together. The Republicans and Democrats in my little town are getting together to have a discussion tonight, last night, just to find a way to find their better angels. So yes, this could be. I mean, you know, again, you have to go back to JFK to have seen a video live of something like this happening. I wasn't born until 1975, but I know that things were really dark in the late 60s. Sorry to some of you. I know some of you were there. This is our moment. Do we escalate, or do we find an off-ramp? And again, it's a choice. It's a choice, and every one of us gets to make that choice. Two more questions right here.
Could we clarify that the release of those enhanced images at 8 p.m. timeline that Director Patel gave us led to the arrest at 10 p.m.? Is there a direct connection between those two events?
I cannot comment if there is a direct connection or not, but all I can say is that that through some process, the family came to know that this had happened.
One more thing, Governor. Could you just clarify the clothing issue you mentioned earlier? Was he changing outfits?
Correct. Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UVU. Last question here. Yes.
Suspect was from Utah. Can you kind of tell us a little bit more about where, and was he a student here at the university, and is there any history of mental illness?
Yeah. So I don't have any information on the mental illness part. He was not a student here at UVU. He was living and had lived for a long time with his family in Washington County, in the southernmost part of our state. Thank you, everyone, for your great work in getting this information out. I just say, process-wise, this may be important. I know many of you aren't familiar with the process in Utah. I think it's important that you understand that basically we have 3 days for charging documents to be filed. A CI will be filed. We'll have more information then, more detailed information, as those charging documents are filed in preparation for a preliminary hearing. So 3 days. So we would anticipate then that early next week those charging documents will be filed. We will obviously be working. The county attorney will be working very closely with Mr. Kirk's family as those documents and decisions are prepared and made. Thanks, everyone.
There it is. Shout out to the governor of Utah, Governor Cox. Great points there. Some points not so much. Interesting point he made about social media being a cancer. I don't know if that's a fair statement, and I want to know what you all think about that in the comments in the chat. I think social media is a powerful tool. I think in a lot of cases it's been used for good, and in other cases it's been used for evil. So it's unfortunate because, as we can see and as we have seen with a lot of things in life in general, is sometimes the consequences of the bad far outweigh the consequences of the good. Meaning that if there were more good in the situation, or even an ounce of good, Charlie Kirk would still be with us. But just because one bad person decided to do one bad thing, it not only affected Charlie Kirk's life, it affected the life of his children, life of his family, and the life of other people who were influenced by him. And clearly he had a lot of influence. So let me know what y'all think about this in the comments in the chat. And thank you, and big shout out to all 1,600, 1,800 of y'all now that are in here, and 2,000 of you have liked the video. Thank y'all, man. Again, I don't ask for much on this show. I don't ask for a lot. Likes are free, and every single one of you have liked the video, so I won't beg for likes too much more. But if y'all could, please make sure you like the video if you haven't yet. It helps out a ton. I want to see y'all's comments on this because, ooh-wee, I know this has been a divisive topic just because of who Charlie Kirk was and the legacy he left. And he said, it is absolutely a fair statement. He is talking about when it is used for evil. He wasn't being absolute. Well, as a professional speaker, he should have communicated that more clearly. He quoted Charlie Kirk's good social media quote. Yep. Let's see. MLK, I have a dream that all men are created equal. Kirk, black women aren't human. Sorry, the comparison is violently ignorant. Did he really say that? I've been seeing people say that. I haven't heard that. I find it extremely hard to believe that Charlie Kirk said black women aren't human, because I just saw a video I was watching earlier today of Charlie Kirk talking to a black woman. Did I bookmark this one? Hopefully I did. Yeah, I sure did. You tell me if this sounds like a guy that said, what'd you say? Black women aren't human? Let me see.
Absent of any community. Unfortunately, in the black community, dads are the most absent of any community. About 2/3 of all black youth will be raised without a stable father around.
Facts.
And I know it's crazy, right? And that little precious angel of yours deserves to have a father around. You know, for daughters and for sons, it's different things.
He's telling a black woman her little precious angel deserves to have a father around. That doesn't sound like. And then someone else said Charlie was very disrespectful towards black women. This doesn't sound like someone who's being disrespectful to this black woman. I think y'all are. A lot of people base their opinions on clips. Again, I don't know. I haven't seen what you guys are talking about. So if you have actual facts and actual context, I'll take it into consideration.
For a daughter, that's a father figure to look up to say that is how a man should act, and someone that I ought to one day marry, someone that will protect me from a vicious world, and someone that makes me understand what strength and not brutality looks like, what justice but not revenge looks like. To have a father figure is a silent way of forming a child to be a mature citizen. And unfortunately, as we've removed dads from families, government has come in and has taken the place. So some people need help and they need social assistance. All of that should be about incentivizing the dad staying around, not the dad leaving. Unfortunately, with welfare, you can get more money for single mother assistance. And so right, you agree. We're actually subsidizing single motherhood more than we are subsidizing family formation. The #1 objective of any social welfare program should be, how do we keep the family together and put dads back in the family? Yes. That is the #1 priority.
Maybe I missed it, y'all. I don't know. Again, this is just a clip too, so I'm not gonna base my opinion on this. But for those of you saying that he said that black women weren't human, I would have to see some evidence on that. But again, let me know if y'all have somewhere you can point me to. I will be happy to look at it. And I've seen other videos, full videos of conversations with Charlie Kirk. I'm not buying it. J Money in the building. Shout out to J Money in here, gifting 20 memberships. If you got a membership from J Money, please make sure that you say thank you and show him some love. ClassE, sounds like you're basing your opinion on a clip. No, I know of Charlie Kirk. I've seen multiple videos on him. I just don't maybe have as much information as y'all do, but I know who he is. It's out there. Look for the video where he specifically talked about Michelle Obama and Joy Reid. I don't need to. I mean, I agree with what I agree with them on, and I don't know. And even if he did say it, I don't think that means he deserves to die or deserve to be assassinated. You have to do a little bit more research. What else? He didn't say black women weren't human. That would be all over the news. Logic and reason dictate that he never said those words. Yeah, usually when people put quotation marks around something, yeah, I'd have to see it. Yeah, and I guess I could take a second. Let me see. Hold on a second. I'm going to see if I can find it. Let We might have to go down this rabbit hole for a minute. I did not agree with anything he said, however. I do not condone the way he was unalive. He was still a child of God despite his beliefs. That is as much political talk as I have. So Ducky Dexter, you didn't agree with what he said in this video? I'll play it again while I'm looking this up. You said you didn't agree with anything that he said. So tell me if you don't agree with this.
Unfortunately, in the black community, dads are the most absent of any community. About 2/3 of all black youth will be raised without a stable father around. And I know it's crazy, right? And that little precious angel of yours deserves to have a father around. You know, for daughters and for sons, it's different things. For a daughter, that's a father figure to look up to say that is how a man should act, and someone that I ought to one day marry, someone that will protect me from a vicious world, and someone that makes me understand what strength and not brutality looks like, what justice but not revenge looks like. To have a father figure is a silent way of forming a child to be a mature citizen. And unfortunately, as we've removed dads from families, government has come in and has taken the place. So some people need help and they need social assistance. All of that should be about incentivizing the dad staying around, not the dad leaving. Unfortunately, with welfare, you can get more money for single mother assistance.
This is very true.
And so right, you agree. We're actually subsidizing single motherhood more than we are subsidizing family formation. The #1 objective of any social welfare program should be, how do we keep
Dougie Dexter said, okay, maybe one thing, maybe y'all shouldn't go based off of a clip. And I'm not giving my opinion based off of this clip. What I'm saying is, before you say, oh, this person was evil, oh, he's terrible, oh, he said black women aren't human. Maybe we should look at the context, look at the conversation, and actually understand what's being said. Again, maybe I'm with Governor Cox on this one. Maybe social media is a poison, because a lot of y'all have developed your opinions of this person based off of something you heard from somebody else, something you saw taken out of context, something someone gave their opinion on. And it's unfortunate. Dougie Dexter said, okay, maybe one thing. Stop the cap. Man, get out of here. Oh, man. I've done my research. Y'all will tell me to do my research. I know who Charlie Kirk was and what he stood on and believed in. I don't need to do any more research. Y'all can. I think y'all need to do your research. You're going to say somebody said that black women weren't human. I'm confused. This man was racist, never had anything positive to say about black people or evil. Are you defending him? I just got on the channel. He didn't deserve to die, but I'm confused. He wasn't racist. I don't believe he was racist. Ducky Dexter shrugging. I don't believe Charlie Kirk was racist. No. No, I've seen enough to form an opinion on that, and I haven't heard him say anything racist. I've heard him say something based on the evidence that he's seen that a certain group of people don't like, but yeah. I don't want to do this. Oh man, y'all are getting upset. See, this is the thing. This is the thing that makes me sad. This is where we are in society. You know, someone has a differing opinion and they say what they believe based on the facts and the evidence that they've seen. And then things start to go left, it's unfortunate, but that's where we are as a society. So yeah, the truth hurts sometimes, and if you don't agree, people don't agree, it's okay. There's plenty of other places that you can go. That's but I think I find it interesting. Please, whoever said in the chat, tell me exactly where he said black women aren't human. He didn't. I don't believe that. I'm not going to say it for certain just because it could be something that said was out of context, but I don't believe that he said that. If y'all can find it, please let me know. He was criticized affirmative action or the idea that black professionals are sometimes in position of race because rather than merit. Yeah, Yeah, we're talking about DEI. I'm not going to get into DEI. If y'all been on the channel long enough, you know how I feel about DEI. And I did see a clip of him saying if he sees a black pilot because of certain things that have happened, specifically with DEI, he's going to wonder, man, why is that pilot there? Is he there because he's black or is he there because he's qualified? And then he went into the context of why he made that point. It's not anything against the black. It's not anything against the black pilot. It would be against the DEI system. Say, hey, if you fit into this certain context, we'll hire you because we need a certain type of diversity. And that's the point he was trying to make. So you agree that every black person in any position of power is a DEI hire? And see, here we go. Man, and this is why I don't go down this path. Because you make a statement and then that's what you come up with. No. That's not at all what I said. This is why we're not doing this today. Not gonna lie, I know some black people in positions they have no business being in. We all know people in positions that we have no business being in. When it comes to DEI, there was a whole system put in place that was essentially wanting to handhold the certain groups of people and give them opportunities that they may not necessarily be qualified for. And that was his point. You can say that about You can say that about every race that may be in positions that they don't deserve to be in. I agree, because there's plenty of people in other races that are there because they know somebody, because they have a friend, because it's their daddy. We've seen it all over the place. This conversation is taking a turn. Yeah, I know. It's tough to have tough conversations. And I think that was one of the reasons why Charlie's platform was so important, because he was willing to have that conversation. He was willing to have it openly. He was willing to have it respectfully. I mean, go out here and just with random people have these types of conversations. There's a reason many people aren't doing that. One, because it's difficult. You have to know what you believe. You have to have facts and evidence behind what you believe. You have to have a certain decorum. You have to have a certain understanding of what you're talking about. And two, it's dangerous, as we've seen here. So, hey, shout out to Charlie, man. Rest in peace. Sad. Fannie Willis is in a position she doesn't need to be in. Oh, man. Triple minority here, and I don't want to be a filler for any statistic. Oh, come on. You don't want to get those scholarships because you're a triple minority? Oh, man. And thank you for saying this. I'm fairly new to the channel, but it's okay. We can have the difference of opinions and can get off the channel, and I can get off the channel. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. And differing opinions are welcome here, guys. We're not in an echo chamber. If you have a differing opinion, I think we can all communicate our opinions respectfully, disagree. And if we don't come to a conclusion, we just move on. It doesn't have to end like this, but some people feel like it's the only way. It's sad. Shout out to Ron. Appreciate you being here. In Blue with the love. Shout out to In Blue. Says music tonight, guys. When it hits, you feel no pain. Thank you for the support, In Blue. Appreciate that. I'm not his fan. I feel for everyone who loses their life, though. Yeah, and I didn't agree. I'll say this. I didn't agree with everything I heard Charlie say. So I don't think you have to agree with everything. Who agrees with everything that someone says in the first place? I don't know. We're at a place to where life and social media has made things very polarizing, meaning you're either on this side or you're on that side. Not a lot of conversation, not a lot of back and forth. You're either for us or against us. And I think that's one of the reasons why we've ended up in the situation we've ended up in lately with a lot that's going on. It's unfortunate. I played volleyball for my scholarship. Hey, shout out to all the student athletes out there. Man, we were working hard out here. Being a student athlete is no joke. And he says, calling Charlie Kirk racist is an easy label for people who don't want to engage with his ideas. He challenged politics like affirmative actions and mass immigration, not out of hate, but out of conviction. that merit and American values matter. Disagreement isn't racism. Reducing every debate to that word shuts down real conversation and silences voices that don't fit the narrative. Well, I just don't think people are prepared or want to have the conversation, Amy, and that's the problem. You know, you either you're for us or against us. Either you agree with what I'm saying and you listen to what I say and you accept how I feel the world is, or I'm leaving. I'm not going to be here. I don't want to hear this. It's interesting, man. It's interesting. What else are y'all saying? In my opinion, what he was doing at the college campuses did not cause him to get shot. I know it's how certain people perceive things. They close their mind to the possibilities of what he was offering. Oh, I think I read that one already too. All right, we're going to get into the next topic. Thank you to all 2,200 of y'all that are in the building. My Lord. Sheesh, there's a ton of y'all in here. Calling everybody racist diminishes the meaning. I know, but it ends the argument for a lot of people. Ah, you're racist. Okay, well, conversation over. Next. So let's get to this next part. So now that we heard the shooter during the Charlie Kirk assassination has been caught. All right, we heard he's been caught. This is a picture of his mugshot, and we're going to find out more information about this shooter, the alleged shooter, because it still hasn't been confirmed. And unfortunately, this man does have to go through, or fortunately, I should say, he does have to go through the legal system and go through a trial and in front of a jury and all of that. So here's the mugshot. Amy's posting information about this like crazy. If y'all don't follow Amy on X, make sure you do that. She's always staying up to date on some of the news that's going on. So make sure you check her out. That's at IAMYLEIGH, and the link will be in the description. So let's go ahead and see what pictures we have here about the alleged shooter, the man who's been apprehended. So first, we've got a picture that Amy posted here showing he's wearing the same sneakers, looks like the same build. And she says, breaking 22-year-old Tyler Robinson of Utah is now in custody for his involvement in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, with his father holding him until police were able to arrive on the scene to arrest him. Oh. So this man's father, I wonder if he held him at gunpoint. I mean, did he sit on him? What was going on here? It said his father was holding him until the police were able to arrive on the scene to arrest him. Robinson will face the death penalty. Jeez, man. And if they can prove it's him, I mean, that's what should happen. So this was the video I talked about yesterday. We were finally able to see what happened after Charlie Kirk was shot. Check this out. This is posted over on Amy's channel too.
If you look up to the top left, you'll see the building where the shooter was chromed out in the top left corner. We'll go ahead and play that video, and I'll narrate as we walk through that.
And this was played at the press conference they had last night.
So here you see the suspect ran behind that upper...
Let's see if I can blow this up.
Upper building. He's going to come out on the right.
So you can see the suspect right there. And this happened right after the shooting took place.
Moves to this far right corner.
You see him there?
As he does, he's going to climb off the edge.
Look at this.
And then drop down to the ground. As he did that, he left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint right there, where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes. Again, we'll replay that again so you can get another view of that.
It's crazy. And look, there's people just walking around.
T-shirt, his black pants, and there appears to be some white on the soles of those Converse tennis shoes. Those are all identifiable items that we're looking for. In the stills that are going to follow this, you're going to see a very distinctive T-shirt with an American flag and appears to have an eagle on it. There's also a baseball cap with a triangle on it and a pair of sunglasses. All distinctive, all things that we would ask the public to look for and try to identify if they know someone who has those items, who has been seen wearing those items. We're looking for all that information. Here you see the suspect after dropping off the building. He moved around across this grassy area, around the parking lot. We're going to pan to the right.
Wow. I want to know how the father held him there.
After he crosses the street, this is where he moves over into the wooded area. This is the video evidence that we utilize to track his movements and to locate that firearm in that wooded area following the discovery of this evidence. Good. You want to go to the stills?
Wow.
So here's the still photographs. I mentioned these have been enhanced. So these are slightly different than what we introduced earlier. Please pay close attention to the t-shirt. Like I said, very distinctive with that American flag and that eagle. The hat with the triangle and the sunglasses. If you'll go to the next picture, please. The backpack as well. All identifying features that we're hoping the public can help us identify and lead us to this suspect. Next picture. And again, there's a better picture of the hat with that triangle logo, and again, the t-shirt. Blue jeans, and you get a good look at those Converse tennis shoes as well. We have pushed these out, we'll continue to push these out, and we just ask for the public's cooperation through the public. The tips that have been coming in are what are giving us our next leads and enabling us to continue to further this investigation. We've had great cooperation from the public, and we're continuing.
Wow. Shout out to Amy for posting this too. Thankfully, they got this guy after that. She also says in the chat, the father confronted Robinson and urged him to turn himself in. At first, Robinson refused. The father then contacted a youth pastor who is also a U.S. Marshal Service fugitive task force officer. The youth pastor advised that Tyler stay where he was. Eventually, with his father's urging and the involvement of the youth pastor / officer, Tyler Robinson surrendered or was taken into custody by the FBI. Wow. We've also got a video from TMZ. This is what happened leading up to him getting apprehended by the FBI. So once he left, he dumped the gun apparently in the woods. Then we have this video courtesy of TMZ. Check this out. So you can see him walking there. Let me actually. And it looks like he's limping because of how he jumped down. He probably sprained his ankle. Same t-shirt, wearing the hat. He was probably feeling it at that point. This is wild. And no wonder they were able to find the gun. Which is it's lucky that he dropped it there. I don't know why he would have done that. It doesn't make sense that he wouldn't have just drove 3 hours away like he did and then dump it somewhere along the way. And Amy said his dad physically restrained him. His own father restrained him until the police arrived on the scene to make the arrest. Jeez. Yep, and you can see him walking around the corner. There he is. And then, of course, y'all know, President of the United States, Donald Trump, had to speak on this and spoke about this man being captured and who his parents are, which is a weird situation with his parents because it looks like they had a pretty close family and his parents were very involved. As we know, Tyler was in college, attending the university we're going to get into later, but check this out.
Radical left. And now you have more information. What can you share with us about his ideology?
Yeah, Lawrence, let me just, and by the way, Lawrence is doing a good job. What's going on here?
Job. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
I said you were going to do well. Yeah, I think that I don't want to go too far. I'd like to tell you some stories at how it happened, but essentially somebody that was very close to him turned him in. And that happens when you had some of those good shots. Somebody is going to say, whether it's a parent or whatever, I'd rather not say right now. They're going to announce it today, sometime later, probably talk about that. But somebody close to him turned him, they said, whoa. It's interesting where we had very good pictures, but not great, not perfect. And when you look at it, what happened is somebody, and this happens a lot. It happened with the crazy Boston bomber. It happened with others. Somebody that's close recognizes even a little tilt of the head, which nobody else would do. And somebody that was very close to him said, that's him. And essentially went to the father, went to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic, by the way. And the person was involved with law enforcement, but was a person of faith, a minister. And brought him to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic. And the father convinced the son, this is it. And again, I'm always subject to be corrected, but you know, I'm just giving you, based on what I'm hearing, they'll give you a much more active. I just heard about it 5 minutes before I walked in. As I'm walking in, they said, looking real good. They have the person that they wanted. So you have breaking news, don't you, huh?
Thank you.
You always have breaking news, Ainsley.
Right.
Sean's going to be very disappointed that we're not doing it on his show.
He'll be very thankful and appreciative of the police officers that got this guy.
They did a great job. Everybody worked together. Pam Bondi is incredible, by the way. People don't know what a star she is. She's incredible. And it all worked out.
Could I ask you just some clarification? So a pastor was able to turn him in, or they got the family of the shooter to turn them in?
Well, it was a minister, and the minister went to a minister who was involved with law enforcement, by the way. And his good friend is a top U.S. Marshal. And they took it from there. And then it was a father got involved, namely his father, and said, we've got to go in. And they, so I understand it. And again, subject to change. But, you know, the facts are the facts. We have the person that we think is the person we're looking for. But they drove into the police headquarters, and he's there now.
Wow. We also have this video, which is kind of strange. A little bit of background into the alleged killer and who he was. We've got a video of him here seemingly receiving a scholarship and reading a letter about it.
Congratulations, you have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000. This scholarship is available for 4 years or 8 semesters. Congratulations.
It sounds like he got a full ride to Utah. I don't know how much that college is, but $30,000, I mean, that's a lot of money. And he was in state. So he probably got a full ride scholarship. Now, this is something interesting I saw from someone who specializes in shooting. And I want y'all to check this out and let me know what you think when it actually comes to Charlie Kirk's cause of death. Because if you looked at the video, there's been a lot of videos circulating about this. You can see some weird things happening once he's actually shot. It looks like he's shot, his t-shirt jerks up, and then you see something pierce his neck, right? And according to this source here, what are they saying? They say, yes, Charlie Kirk was wearing a bulletproof vest. The bullet ricocheted off of the steel plate, causing spalling. I'm probably saying that wrong. And hit his carotid artery. Spalling refers to incidents where parts of the bullet flake off the projectile upon impact with the target. I initially looked at the video and thought this and had conversations about this, and now they're going to show us an example of what could have happened.
Tool ammo, 223. I'm just going to do one shot. A little extra on that. That was our impact. And this is a brand new piece of foam, so that one shot did that to your chin.
Jeez.
That's cool. Here's the bullet, actually. What's left of it. So that's great. There's some more of it.
It's like, what's the point? What's the point of wearing a bulletproof vest if it's gonna do that? I mean, you need to wear a neck piece as well, because it's looking like, again, I'm not gonna play the video on here. It's just not appropriate. But if you look at the video, you see it looks like something goes upward, and it could have been the bullet. It could have been, who knows what it could have been. Also, we've got audio here from Fox News of someone calling 911, telling what just happened and what they saw. Fox News says dispatch audio reveals the frantic moments after an assassin fatally shot Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. He's going to be wearing all black, black long gun, black tactical helmet, a black mask, possibly wearing a tactical vest and jeans, a female dispatcher said over the radio.
Is going to be wearing all black, black long gun, black tactical helmet, a black mask, possibly wearing a tactical vest and jeans. Is going.
Which is, I mean, thank God they were able to find him because of the cameras, but that's not really helpful to saying, oh yeah, it's someone wearing all black. But they were able to find the guy. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments in the chat. Such a sad situation. And y'all know once this goes to trial, we're going to be here to follow it. Is this going to be, I think they're saying this is going to be a federal issue. Obviously, the FBI was involved in the investigation, but he lived in Utah. The crime was committed in Utah. I wonder if it'll be federal or local. If y'all know, let me know in the comments. Let's see. No one snitches, or the snitches don't get taken seriously when they snitch. Yo, we're talking about snitches again today. Is his dad a snitch for turning him in? Chat, if you hated Kirk, if you hated what Kirk stood for and his killer was your neighbor, would you snitch and give up his whereabouts? I think most people would just keep sipping on their tea and look the other way if they hated him. So liberals trying to ban guns, or are they snipers? Ugh. I've had to turn people in that were living. Okay, I don't want to read that. I don't want to read that. He managed to live without slipping up over his usual warblings. What is a warbler? I've never heard that before. I tried to answer you, but want to prove my comments. In my opinion, this is why the largest group in the U.S. are, such. It's probably because you're using certain words. If you use certain words and certain terms, the chat's not gonna, the chat's not gonna let them in. Yeah, YouTube automatically blocks certain words like you saw earlier. I'm not going to say the word. Can you imagine the impact on his family? I hope the pastor continues to help shielding the family. I think it might be too late for that. Unfortunately, hopefully they'll be okay. And I mean, again, they didn't make their son do this that we know of. They didn't choose this path for their son. So definitely got to pray for that family too. The Robinson family, they have got to be going through it. You know, they're going to be getting phone calls. You know, they're going to be getting letters because there's radical supporters on both sides. Where are the riots? I thought the right was full of hate and violence. Nope. As the governor of Utah said, they're holding vigils. They're praying. He said, we don't do that here. Starfish said, okay. I see what you're saying. That was English slang. Yeah, and Amy said, I'm not the one. Yeah, YouTube automatically. There's trigger words on YouTube. I can't imagine his wife and kids seeing that video of him being killed. They're going to see it eventually. Tyler Robinson's dad is the one who turned his son in. His daddy is Washington County Sheriff. Yep, and we just heard that too. I saw another comment I wanted to read. Let me see. I can't find it. Was the hiding dad a cop? The father was the sheriff? Yeah, so y'all are on it. You guys already know what's going on. I appreciate everyone here. I so value people who are passionate. I have okay, appreciate you, In Blue. Thank you for the support. I still don't know the difference between the right and the left. Well, some people would say there isn't a difference. They all have the same agenda. But we're not going to get into that today. Oh, man. I'm going to have to, we might have to make another channel. We'll have this one for trials, and then we'll have to start talking about this stuff if y'all really want to get into it. But I think that's enough of this for today. Definitely a major, huge victory for the FBI and for Utah. Hopefully this man will be brought to justice, whatever that means. So prayers go out to the Kirk family and the Robinson family in this too. No one wins a political argument. No, I think it's just people doing what they think is in the best interest of either themselves or others. Right, Republican, left, Democrat. If only it were that simple. Does the public deserve to see this trial? Interesting question. What do you mean by that? Does the public deserve to see this trial? I need more clarification on that. All right, let's get into this next topic. So we have got Dan Markel's mother is going to be giving an interview. Shout out to Surviving the Survivors, STS. I will leave a link to their full video and their full interview here with Dan Markel's mother. As many of you may know, she actually wrote a book, and I have not checked out the book myself, but she has it in an audio book. I did purchase it. It's sitting in my Audible. I need to go through it. I probably should this weekend. Either way, she wrote a book about everything she believes that went down and happened with the tragic murdering of her son, Dan Markel. So she's going to talk a little bit here about Donna's involvement. She might even bring up Wendy in this as well. Let's go ahead and get into it. Shout out to Joel over at STS. Let's go.
No matter what, you can't take away Ruth's beauty. So Ruth, again, I know Ruth only has about 7 or 8 minutes with us tonight, but it was almost a 3-week trial. I was there. You were obviously there. The jury goes back, they deliberate, and now Judge Stephen Everett, who has an amazing command of the entire courtroom, reads the verdict slip. Right before he read that, what was running through your mind? Do you even know?
What was running through my mind was whether we're going to get life. To be honest, the two, for me personally, I'm only could talk for myself. Conspiracy and solicitation of murder were, in my heart of hearts, a done deal. But you never know until you really hear it. And first of all, Judge Everett did a great job of really running a tight courtroom. There was a few moments of, a kindergarten feeling in there, but we have to really thank him. So the issue is really the first, whether she's going to get murder, whether she's going to get life. Did we meet the criteria? As he read it in the morning. And what I think is amazing for the jurors, they hear this stuff for the first day, for the first time. Can you imagine getting this major, it's almost like a lecture on, what the jury notes have to be. And then they have to make these decisions, in a short time period, the same day. So my hat is out to all the jurors as well.
Yeah, I interviewed juror 5, 6, and
right
I'm
thing.
about to interview the jury 4 person. I got to tell you, Ruth, they appeared to me from the onset to be literally almost a professional type jury. And speaking to them, I was reassured of that. Just it's amazing how serious they took this civic duty, and they were trying to be as fair as possible to the defendant. So Judge Everett reads the verdict, and you get guilty on count 1. Donna's sort of blood-curdling scream, it's a haunting sound. Obviously, justice was delivered in that moment. What was that moment like for you when you knew that your, this former relative through marriage is now going away to prison for life?
I think that this particular part of the long 11 years, and thank you for being there in the last few years, is an important outcome. I think, along the way, you're building sort of not only the case, but the journey. But then from my point of view, not anyone else's, this outcome is extremely positive because I see her as the architect, the orchestrator, the coordinator. She was known in one of her TV shows, and really the implementer.
Wow.
So this would not happen if there was not Don Adelson in the program. When I mean the program, meaning the theater aspect of the program. But it's definitely an accomplishment in the journey towards justice for Danny.
Yep. And I think we all were able to see that during the trial. Donna did a good job of somewhat covering her tracks. She didn't want to speak about certain things, but I think the more Charlie and her were having conversations on the phone, the more she revealed how much she actually knew about what was going on. Now, because we didn't hear certain in-person conversations, I still am not sure at what point Donna knew and was involved with what was going on. because we can take from some of the phone conversations she had with Charlie and the coded language that she was using that she knew at some point, right? She was talking about a Yelp review. We know she was not talking about a Yelp review. All right. She was talking about getting someone some money. But at what point did Charlie and Donna start having conversations? That's still a question that needs to be answered. But Donna's still sitting on a couple of guilty verdicts anyway. We'll just leave that up to us because we'll probably never know.
And, one, you kind of referred to some toddler moments. So one quote unquote toddler moment that stuck out to me was when Donna had to decide about testifying. And I keep saying it was like a 5-year-old trying to choose between a grape or cherry lollipop. Like she just didn't know what to do, how to do it, what decision to make until Judge Everett essentially said, look, I'm going to hold you all in contempt of court unless I get an answer. And then Donna said, I'm not going to testify. And then we got word that night and confirmed by Georgia that Donna had a change of heart. And Georgia said she had like a 110-page binder with tabs. And we know those tabs are not something you want to be asked about. All ready to go for Donna. Were you surprised that she did not testify or disappointed? Your reaction to that?
No, actually, I think I've been a contrarian in this particular trial on a few issues, and that's one of them.
Yeah,
and the reason I think she didn't testify or wasn't sure, Donna had orchestrated and been in control of so many things throughout her life and throughout even the whole story about Danny. This is a situation where she was on the vulnerable end of the continuum, not her strength. And as a result of being vulnerable, she didn't want to take a risk, you see, which is very contrarian to her other ways of behaving. So my interpretation of that was she was too low to really try to even take that level of risk. That's my interpretation versus, out there slugging away, slugging at people, orchestrating plans and so forth. So she was more in a defeat moment. Not that she felt she's losing, but that was before she was losing. She didn't know about the loss of the trial yet.
Yeah, we had a body language expert, and I couldn't see Dawn at the moment of the reading of the verdict. I could only hear her kind of wailing, but apparently there were no tears.
This is weird.
And our body language expert said it was more performative than anything else. Now, I know a lot of times you don't want to go into this, so feel free to tell me you're not comfortable answering. But there were a couple of new pieces of evidence. For example, that Donna had Danny's license plate number from his 2008 Honda Accord. Was there anything new that really kind of stuck with you from this trial?
From Donna's part, no, absolutely not. I think that we know that she planned, we know that she orchestrated, and we have had an experience with this whole family, and I want to make one very general statement, nothing to do with murder. There are many families today that have divorce. There are many families today that have estrangement. There are many families today that have, brainwashing children. You've heard me talk about this on other programs, but nobody goes to murder. Okay, so here's where the individual part of, and we hope nobody goes to murder. Maybe there's more people now going towards murder. But the point is, there's a large group of North Americans and Europeans who have contentious divorces. And the idea to choose to go further really shows the actual criminal mind of this family. And what was striking to me was, and consistent, is when Donna actually said to the inmate, we're going to get you more narcotics as one of your rewards. So think about that. These are people who had a medical background, some of them. They didn't give, to any aspect of anybody else's life or situation as long as they got their own way. So to answer your question, I was not surprised about anything. The license would have been a meaningful piece of her just communicating where they were in the plan and at what step and stage.
Yeah, Ruth is talking about the two jailhouse informants, Patricia Bird and Drina Bernhardt, and those are two people who I've said publicly that Donna would never have associated with unless she was doing it to manipulate them, which she got caught doing. Two more quick questions, Ruth, because I know your time is limited. And by the way, the jurors I spoke to thought that both divorce attorneys for the defense were absolute unmitigated disasters. So you have that. But without a doubt, I think the star witness for the government was Rob Adelson, the one good egg in the family. I know you don't have a lot of time, but
no, I don't know. I think Jeff was pretty. We're going to talk about Jeff here shortly. We got to give some respect to Jeff. Shout out to Jeff Lacaus. Jeff was up there cooking. I mean, not necessarily Donna in a sense, but Wendy, and Wendy's communicating what she was communicating with Donna. I think Jeff was going to be up there with Rob. Rob, you could see his disdain for his mother and his family in general as well.
What would you say either to Rob or about Rob for having the courage to get up there and tell the truth?
I just want to say, and I do speak to him sometimes, Rob, thank you, thank you, thank you. Not because of the fact that in many ways he turned around anybody who had doubt, reasonable doubt. Here was a family member who did it, but the ability to come forward in such a difficult situation. Here he is, a family member, and all the loss that he had. We have a lot of loss, but Rob Adelson has tremendous loss, and his children have loss. And on a personal level, this is an internal struggle that's gone on for him for 11 years. You know, there's no winner in this situation. He's a loser in the family context. He's a loser maybe because of the fact that this is who his real family is. But he really deserves an immense amount of gratitude.
And I'm glad you said that there is no winner. A lot of people think there's a winner at the end of this. It's sort of a bittersweet victory for justice, and it kind of ends there. Finally, of course, you've got the prosecutor of the year, Georgia Kappelman, and Sarah Catherine Dugan. But without people, like Jason Newland at the state attorney's office and Pat Sanford and Detective Isom, we might never have had a trial. You made it a point to thank law enforcement. Are they the unsung heroes of this? And your final thoughts, Ruth?
100%, all of them. I mean, the unsung heroes really start, from the beginning. The real unsung hero we should acknowledge is James Geiger, because I think if there was not a James Geiger, what neighbor, when you live in a large city like I do, Toronto, New York, or wherever, if you hear a gunshot, you're running away and covering your doors and whatever else, your windows. This guy goes outside, and we owe him the biggest debt. So he's a real unsung. Really, it's a tremendous gift and hero to the family. And then that sets off, obviously, the law enforcement and Georgia Kappelman. And I'm in personal contact frequently with Craig and Pat and others, because they kind of nurture us on the sidelines, just, to help us know where we are. And of course, Georgia, we have, and Sarah and the whole team, and Jack Campbell and Helene Potluck, she's a major player for us and helps us in organizing every time we come to court and so forth. So we are indebted. We are immensely grateful. And like I said at the actual hallway conversation, I believe in my life, I have a lot of trauma, but I have a lot of gifts. And the gifts are also the podcasters. I have to say, the media for our family has been a gift as well. We have not yet had, and I hope we never have, any kind of confrontation or really difficult situation. So thank you.
Ruth,
there it is. Shout out to Ruth Markell. Shout out to STS for doing this interview. Again, I'll leave a link in the description to this video. And if you guys want to support Ruth Markell, you can go and check out the book. Y'all see here, I got it this week, and I'm going to be listening to the audiobook, The Unaliving, A Mother's Reflection of Murder, Grief, and Trial Life. This is a good one. So I'll leave the link in the description to this as well. Maybe we'll get Ruth on the channel sometime. I want to ask her about Wendy. I have a lot of questions. Let me know what y'all think. Should we try and get Ruth up here? Let me know in the chat. And thank y'all to the gang as well. Still over 2,000 of you like the video. We still got so many of y'all in here showing some love, even though I have positive things to say about Charlie Kirk. Crazy. I appreciate y'all so much, man. And we've actually got a lot more we're going to get into on the show. Let me see. Did I miss anybody in here? I feel like I missed a couple of comments, so I got to check in and see what y'all got going on. Thank you to Amy for reminding y'all to like the video as well. And okay, we should be good. Let me see what y'all are saying. Shout out to James is back in the building. Good to see you, James. Let's see. Ruth is a fairly intelligent woman. If she has every right to feel the way she feels, and just so praise, shout out to her. Tay Toom is in the building. What's up, Tay? Let me see. Oh, Charlie wouldn't shut up. Donna constantly tried to hang up and kept going. Yeah, she mentioned the TV. I think that was the craziest part of those phone calls. You had Donna up there speaking in code, and she's like, "Yeah, the TV's about 5." Charlie's like, "Oh, the TV's about 5. Okay." So they want $5,000? Charlie, shut up, man. What are you doing? Donna's up here trying to speak in code. So you're like, "Oh, okay." He gave them every single thing that he needed. That's crazy. Charlie. Charlie is absolutely a mess. Let's go ahead and get into our next topic. And let me see here. We got to get some more Jeff in the building because y'all know our guy Jeff was up there absolutely cooking Wendy in his police interrogation / interview. So before we get back into what Jeff Lacaus had to say about Wendy Adelson more in his police interview, I wanted to play this clip posted by Kathy Russin. And because I didn't cover the first several trials during this Adelson, I don't know what we should call it, during the Adelson trial run, I had to play this because I saw this and I couldn't believe this very creepy clip from Wendy Adelson. Check this out and listen to what she had to say.
That means that anything you say today can't be used against you if the state decides to arrest you later on.
The state isn't going to decide to arrest me.
That means that...
Yo! She seems so sure in saying the state's not going to arrest her. Why do y'all think that is? And the little chuckle and smile. This lady's diabolical. Let's go ahead and get back into Jeff's interview with the police. Again, shout out to True Crime Metric. I will leave a link to this full video in the description for y'all. Here we go.
Please.
Yeah, because there's a couple others, just two other suspicions.
Let me just before you get into that, I don't want to throw off your train of thought, but I want to address this. This is an email that I think you're referring to. I'll give you an opportunity to read it.
Yep, that's the one she sent. That's where I'm going right now.
Okay, so this is July 15th. Is that accurate?
That's right.
Okay, July 15th is the Tuesday before.
The thing she told me about Charlie would have been the night before this.
Okay, so we are on the 14th.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, it would have been Monday, July 14th. That's actually just where I was going right now.
Go ahead.
So she goes to South Florida for 2 weeks. We barely talk. It's hard on both of us. You guys have emails. It's bullshit romance stuff, going back and forth. We had one long conversation and decided to patch things up. She sounded very calm in this conversation.
These are phone conversations?
Yeah. You know,
she's in Miami.
She's in Miami. And while she's in Miami, she always says, she would just disappear for 14 days. I wondered if there was another man down in Miami too. It seemed plausible because her parents take care of the kids. It doesn't make sense how busy she is. Come back Monday, we go on a date. That's the 14th. That's the night that...
okay, you're on the date here.
Yeah, we're on a date here. It was real awkward. And she was a little strange, but it was overall a pretty positive date. So I had some hope in terms of the relationship. She said that thing about Charlie. I'm so distracted by all this relationship stuff. That's the reason I didn't follow up on that bizarre thing she says about Charlie having Danny killed. But at the end of the night, she wants me to drop all the Daniel Sack stuff, everything else. She goes, that never happened. And I said to her, Wendy, we can break up, but I'm not going to go on a relationship pretending like this didn't happen. It happened. So she doesn't know how to... Danny's the only real relationship she ever had. I said, I know you don't know how this works, but if you want to go to a counselor, you can, or you talk it out. But you don't just say that never happened. This happened. And she seemed to find that devastating. Back to the who knows about this, who's going to know about this. Does your friend Steven know about this? Like, Jesus, you know.
That's on the 14th.
It's on the 14th. So
you're having this conversation during or after your date?
After the date.
Back at her house?
Back at her house.
Okay.
At her house. And didn't have wine that night. She was sick. She got a bad cold. She was really stressed out and sick. So the next day is Tuesday the 15th. I wake up in the morning, I call Wendy, and I told investigator Hill this. I don't know if there's anything here, but it was kind of bizarre. Talk early in the morning, maybe 9 or 10, and I said, I'd like to see you today. I was a little encouraged. And she said, yeah, I'd love to see you. And she'd walked herself out of her house. I said, well, come hang out with you. She said, I'd love to spend time with you. And then I waited. 3 hours later, I get a phone call, and she's like, actually, I got into the house. Let's not do the afternoon. Let's just go to yoga together. So
where?
Yoga.
Okay.
So I went to yoga together. It was awkward as hell. She was cold. She was done. I could tell. So I'm sitting there yoga going, okay, this is over. Walk her to her car at the end of yoga, and I say, I love you. I don't know what else to say. And she goes, I know. I was like, well, that's not what you want.
So, I love you. And she goes, I know.
Yeah.
Of course you do. I'm a goddess.
Talking about narcissism. Yeah. So I literally went, okay. And I just turned to leave. And
dang, Joe.
Oh, hell this, but I want to say it again. She goes, hey, Jeff, are you still going to Tennessee on Friday? And I say, I'm thinking, why the hell does she care? It's obvious.
You're walking away, you're separating?
Yeah, I went 10 paces away from her, and she says, hey, Jeff, are you still going to Tennessee on Friday? And I say, I lie. And I say, actually, it's up in the air. Because we talked about if we broke up, I should come over and say goodbye to the kids. I was hoping she'd invite me over. And she said, well, she was deeply interested. She asked me 3 or 4 questions.
But this is after this, right?
It is after. No, that's not. I get this email at the end of the night. She goes home and she sends this email. This is after this. This is after the conversation. The conversation I'm telling you about right now happens an hour before I get this email.
An hour before. Okay, so we're still Tuesday the 15th?
Yeah, at 7 o'clock at night.
Okay.
Get out of there.
Okay.
So she asked 3 or 4 questions about under what circumstances would I go? Why am I thinking about not going?
No,
she
Jeff
seemed
was
deeply
ready to say.
interested in what I'm going to do on Friday. It just was bizarre. I was like, well, whatever. Got home, got this email. What was so strange about this? We had just spent 16 days away from each other, thinking about things. Then I get this. I told her, if you don't want to do this, send me a text and say I can't do this anymore. Why would you string me along for a week? It's real strange.
I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. And I'm going to read this aloud. So if there's something, it pains me to be writing this to you now, but here we go. I need some space to clear my head and to figure out how to move forward. I am heartsick, but my head and my heart are having 2 different reactions to us being together, and I can't reconcile them to be in this like you would want me to be. So she's saying you're coming on too strong, basically, is what I'm reading. You want a full commitment.
No, that's not how I read it, but I mean, it's...
Well, I mean, that's how I'm looking at it. Is that not true? I mean, okay, do you want a full commitment from her?
I wanted to continue the relationship, yes.
Okay.
But we had discussed just breaking up. We just spent 16 days apart thinking about things.
Right. You're 16 days apart. Then you go on a date on the 14th. She makes the comment about her brother was going to looked into killing Danny the previous summer, which would have been summer of 2013. She didn't specify a month. You didn't question her any more about that.
I was too focused on this stuff. Yeah, I didn't.
No, when she's making this statement on you're saying the Monday, which would be the 14th. Yeah. When she makes this statement that Charlie had looked into having someone do this for 15, it was going to cost. Hey, how much does it cost to kill this guy? And the answer that Charlie gets is $15,000. He shares that with his sister.
Yes.
Okay. And then she says that to you, and that was in the context preceding that conversation was basically, what do you want to do? You don't like it here. I'm talking in here.
That was part of the conversation. There was a constant conversation about Danny is awful, Tallahassee sucks. That's about all she ever said.
And I can't do anything. I'm stuck here because, I guess she got denied relocating with the kids.
She did.
And she's saying, I'm stuck here unless something happens to Danny. That's what you're getting at.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting at.
And then she just spills this out.
Yeah. And then I think, by the way, she just went to the bathroom. I think there was something like that where
But you're saying that, there was no more conversation about this. Is huge to me. This is like, my brother's already checked into it and it costs this much.
Yeah,
is it like this is still available and open, or 15 grand is too much we're too cheap?
This family's rich. I mean, that's nothing.
No, I know, but
what's... He's got petty cash in his office.
Okay, but was this like, this option still available? Is that how it was?
It was just said in passing, and I've mulled it over in my head 100 times. I didn't know what it meant.
Okay, so my brother checked into it, and it was going to cost 15 grand.
I'm just heartbroken in this situation. I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about how do I get this woman back.
I realize, but I'm trying to glean this from what the interpretation that you got from it.
Yeah.
I know you told me you didn't ask her anything more about it. I mean, a statement like this. Don't take this the wrong way, but if I was in your shoes, I'd be like, I'd be saying, what the hell are you talking about?
I got used to her craziness. That's to get her right. I mean, she's all over the place all the time. So I think I just wrote it off as another crazy thing Wendy says.
But you recall the amount.
I do, and I went back to a couple friends because I told them about this.
Right.
After Danny got shot, I said, holy shit. I mean, that's what happened. So I beat myself up about that.
No, I don't want you to beat yourself up. I just want to make sure that you didn't. I'm just trying to get you to see, is there anything else that you can recall? I'm not saying you did anything wrong.
I know, I get that.
I'm saying, are you sure you didn't miss something else in that conversation?
No, because it was right back to her and I.
Okay. All right.
Since you're going to be here, and that's not going to happen, you know that.
So this comment is made in passing as she's traipsing off to the
Something
bathroom.
like, yeah, or her bedroom or something.
Comes back out, it's all,
And
okay.
I say, I had a good time last night, or something like that. You
Okay.
know, it was that kind of thing. So she sent me this email, and I don't know if it's coming on. I didn't know what to make of it. I sent it to some of my friends who know her pretty well. It said, she's crazy, is what they said. I mean, why wouldn't she just break up with you? It doesn't even make sense. I should have broke up with her. But we've been apart 16 days. She wants another week. But recall that when she left Danny, she just moved out while he was gone. So confrontation isn't her thing, you know. So maybe that's why.
Makes sense.
So Wednesday goes by. There's Thursday. Thursday, she.
You're still up in the air about leaving. You've told her, I don't know for sure if I'm leaving Friday or not.
That's right. She
Because
doesn't
he
know
knew
for
something was off. That's why he said that.
I don't know if she would have or would have known. We have mutual friends that I told on Wednesday or Thursday that I was going, that it wouldn't shock me if she were able to find out that I was going. I mean, we have mutual friends.
But your answer to her was, I don't know yet. It's still up in the
That's
air.
right, that's right. But the next day I decided to go. So it was all...
On Wednesday?
Yeah, I decided to go for sure on Wednesday. Thursday, she changes her Facebook picture. I'm sure you've seen the picture of her in the beautiful purple dress. It's all over the media. And that was bizarre to me, because that's a Victoria's Secret dress. It's not a dress you hang out at your parents. You might wear it to a club if you're an undergrad. You might wear it to bed. You don't hang out at your parents' house wearing that dress. And to me, it was...
Was this a dress that you gave her?
No. But you saw the picture. It's fairly scandalous.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
But if you went to Google and typed in Wendy's name, she's a pretty girl, but you'll find nothing where she looks even close to how she looks in that picture. She looks gorgeous in that picture.
On the Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was suspicious to me after the fact that picture was changed 12 hours before Danny shot, and that's the picture that was distributed to the media. She's very concerned with her appearance and how she looks. So I know that maybe sounds crazy. Investigator
No, not for a narcissist.
but I thought this is
Right
so
on point.
strange. She changed her Facebook picture twice in 2 years, and the night before Danny shot, and she's going to be all over the media, she looks like a Victoria's Secret model, you know?
Okay.
So, but I was bothered enough by that picture, because
What was the prior picture?
I can't imagine.
something that looks more like a
Victoria's
35-year-old woman with 2 kids would have on her Facebook page.
Okay.
All the other pictures, and she looks pretty enough, but that one looks, she looks amazing in that picture.
Okay.
She's not even that pretty alive. That picture, I think her dad
Photoshop.
Her dad photoshops that stuff. He does that kind of thing. So it was a picture
Jeff
produced
was
for
in
her by her
love,
father.
man. He loved this chick. Jeez.
So Friday I
So
leave.
she looked
Thursday night I
amazing.
leave. About an hour after I saw that picture, I said, fuck this, and I just drove out of town. The next day, Danny shot at 11 a.m. No one contacts me, which we have a lot of mutual friends, and they didn't. I talked to some of them after the fact. They tell me that they were under the impression that I was very likely an actual suspect in this case. I posted on Facebook from Tennessee Friday night at a time where it would have been impossible for me to ever have been here at the time of the shooting. I found this really puzzling, and what some people have told me after the fact is that you guys searched Wendy's stuff. It says, talk to Jeff about stalking in her calendar. If somebody was stalking with you, would you need to write yourself a note to remind yourself to talk to somebody about it? Mm-hmm. It's real strange, especially since if never did anything approximate. I snooped. I conceded that I snooped. If I had any options, I don't feel badly about it at this point. She didn't contact me for 10 days. She told me that the police had instructed her that I was a suspect and she was not to return a text message that I sent her, that she could not do that. I actually recently dated a criminal defense attorney, just coincidentally, and she thought that was bizarre because she said they want you talking, you want to incriminate yourself, they're going to get access to this stuff. But
That didn't come from me.
I don't think it came from anyone. It was very strange. Well, I know legally you can't do that probably, but
No.
I mean, it's unless you want to. So I wasn't in the room with her. I don't know how she acted or whatever, but it was implausible that I did this. And I don't know. She told me I tried to protect you from the police. I want to know where your house was. I want to know this. I said I don't need
I want to see
protecting.
that picture of her.
How come none of your friends called me or texted me? Well, they told me later that she seemed to be concerned that I actually did this.
Why would you do it?
Fine. Why would I do it?
Well, what did she say? Well,
Crime of passion. We're breaking up and Jeff's upset. Why would I go kill Danny because I'm upset with Wendy? And by the way, as soon as I heard he's dead, I said, that's it for us. She's back in Miami. That's it. I know. It's the dumbest thing ever. That's what I was doing.
It makes no sense that
I
Jeff
work at
would
FSU,
do
I
it.
can't move. By the way, I was in the Air Force. Last time I fired a gun was an M16 in basic training, and I missed the target. Luckily, I
Oh,
fired a
thank you
shot.
for your service, Jeff.
So, she also described to me how she knew the details of the crime scene. It sounded very precise. Like someone.
Did y'all know Jeff was in the Air Force? I did not know that. Let's thank him for his service. Shout out to Jeff, man. He's a G. I did not know he was
Dumbest thing ever. That's what I
in
was
the Air
doing.
Force.
I work at FSU. I can't move. By the way, I was in the Air Force. Last time I fired a gun was an M16 in basic training, and I missed the target. Luckily, I'm not a shot. She also described to me how she knew the details of the crime scene. It sounded very precise, like someone knew what they were doing. It's impossible she could actually think I did this. I'm a clumsy, absent-minded professor with osteoarthritis and a bad shoulder. I mean, so I don't know if she said that to you guys. I know you can't tell me that. But she was telling people in her social circle, apparently, that they shouldn't contact me, I guess. That, you know, this was really a possibility. And that just seems deeply suspicious to me. A lot of these people aren't really close friends with me, but I found out about this crime third hand. And that just struck me as incredibly strange. And suspicious, very suspicious. I just got a couple other things, and then I'll answer questions you have. I talked to Hale, and I talked to you.
That's fact, Kel.
One of the things that we might want to go over in a minute is when I talked to Officer Hale, I know you guys were under pressure. It was a crisis situation, as you were saying. But I was given a list of the men that I knew Wendy had been involved in to some degree. And a lot of times it was just suspicion of sexual involvement. I didn't know, but clearly she talked to them about a lot, so it'd be worth looking at. And Officer Hill, or Investigator Hill, was very polite and kind to me, even given the situation. Just simply wasn't interested in the long list of names. He says, we're looking for a degenerate. We're not looking for these kind of guys you're saying. And I should have been more assertive, but she doesn't hang out with degenerates. This is actually a contract killing. There's going to be rich, powerful, influential men. And so there's some names that he didn't even want to write down. So that's the one thing from the previous meeting that was a thing. Just to wrap up the Wendy thing, 10 days later, she texts a friend of mine and says, does Jeff ever even want to talk to me ever again? And
Who was that?
To a Frank Amori, who's a mutual friend. He's pretty certain she was involved in this too at this point. She'd been down to the house, visited with the family a couple of times since the crime, describes it as just a bizarre environment when you walk in the room, so secretive and weird. But I mean, that was just strange because she didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. By not contacting me, why would she say that if you guys told her not to? I don't want to get my own relationship stuff tied up with the crime stuff, but it's just strange. I called Officer Hale and said, hey, just so you know, Wendy has a key to that house on Trescott. So I know there was some mystery and discussion and speculation how the guy get in, or I don't know, the crime scene details, but Wendy's constantly losing keys. So, and rediscovering that, all the time.
Right.
So she had keys. He didn't call me back on that. I don't know if it was helpful or not. And then here's just a list of strange things that she said after the crime. I talked to her 3 or 4 times. She said, I love Tallahassee. I wanted to remain in Tallahassee for the rest of my life.
These are phone conversations?
Yeah, these are phone conversations. Danny has so many enemies, it will be impossible to figure out who did this. He's a pretty beloved man, and he was an abrasive guy, but that's a strange thing to say.
Yeah.
I've never heard any sympathy from her one time about Danny. She still seems enraged, obsessed, and defiant about Danny. I told Officer Hale that her and Charlie went to dinner maybe 3 weeks after the crime. Charlie called it a celebration dinner via text. She puked on the table during the dinner after Charlie said something. She wouldn't tell me what he said. She said Charlie made a remark and I just puked everywhere.
What did she
Celebration
What did
dinner?
Charlie
That's
say?
what Charlie called it. You can look up, if you got access to text, you can find out. Yeah, that's what she called it. When she was just in town, she was cracking jokes about Danny getting his head blown off. She said the kids are having problems, but not because of Danny's murder. So the kids are peeing in the bed and having natural kid stuff, not because of Danny's murder. That's a really weird thing to say. Most people would say they're upset because their father just got killed. It seems to be important to her that not
This is so strange, man.
She was very upset that I attended Danny's memorial service. When the Tallahassee Democrat ran the story, they put, it must have been her worst nightmare, front and center picture of Jeff Lacaus in the second row, sitting next to Stephen Tripodi and Frank Amori. She was telling people, like, why would he do that? He hates Danny. The man died. It doesn't matter what I thought of him. He died.
Wow. So Jeff went to Dan's memorial service. Guess who didn't go? Wendy. Neither did the kids. She didn't take the kids there. Disgusting, man. I can't believe that Jeff went. And Wendy didn't go. Well, I can't believe that. That's what guilt will do to you. Jeez.
He's my colleague. And then lots of strange and erratic behavior. She mailed me back every gift certificate I ever gave her. Just came in the mail with no return address. Started dating a woman that Wendy knew tangentially. And once Wendy found out about that, she called her and made sure, I don't know what she told her, but that blew up on me. So there's this aggressive component that people don't often see. And then when she was just in town last time, she asked Frank DeMori, she's still painting me as a stalker. She said, do you think there's any chance I'll be giving my talk and Jeff Lacaus would come and maybe just attend the talk? Or
Evil, man.
She was actually irritated with her. She said, why would he do that? You know, I actually left town while she was here because I didn't small town. I didn't want to run into her. I actually fear her. So that's my list of things. And when I go through all that in my head, I come to the conclusion, as you said a minute ago, that she was at least aware this was going to happen, and I think probably involved in it.
Okay.
I got a list of men here. I don't know if you want to see that or not.
I'll take your list if I can read it.
Yeah.
Or else I'll write it over again.
Can I just tell you? I mean, that might be easiest. It's not that long. There's 7 entries.
These are
men that she spoke about a lot, and I don't believe she would be honest with you guys about this sort of thing.
she spoke to you about.
Yeah. And or I knew she was at conferences with, and or I suspected she had sex with.
Oh, man. Jeff, you were keeping track. Come on, buddy.
I still suspect her and Charlie did this, but I know you guys have to look at everything.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, there's Daniel Sack. There's Mehul Patel.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Sack?
Yeah.
S-A-C-K, right?
Yeah, just like it sounds.
Mehul
Patel.
Dang.
P-A-T-E-L.
And he's giving names.
There's Miguel Edmondson.
Oh, there's Miguel.
Edmondson?
We talked about Miguel.
It's like E-D-M-O-N-D-S-O-N.
Wendy was definitely getting it all.
There's 2 guys named Trey. They're different guys. One's in Destin as a real estate lawyer. One's in Orlando as another kind of lawyer.
T-R-E-Y?
There's T-R-E.
Trey?
There's 2 Treys.
Okay, Trey, that's all you got, just first name?
First name. They're both Facebook friends with her.
Okay, one's
a real estate lawyer in Destin. And one's in... Actually, the other one I couldn't swear is a lawyer.
And another Trey, T-R-E.
Yeah.
What's up, KB?
And who's a what now?
I think he's in Orlando. I don't know his profession. I think he's probably a lawyer. Most of them are.
Okay.
There's a person I only know as a gastroenterologist, a GI doc in Miami that I believe she was seen in early July. He was at her house an awful lot right after the crime.
Here?
No, I mean in Miami.
Okay. In Miami, gastrointestinal physician in Miami?
In Miami. And I never heard of him until July. All of a sudden, it made me a little suspicious. All of a sudden, he's around in July. This happens, and he's around after the crime, too.
Okay.
So I wonder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then there's these conferences she's
When you thought Jeff
I don't want to be too
protected?
graphic, but she comes back from, if you're interested in people that were obsessed or sexually involved, she comes back from conferences with slap marks on her ass. Just, it was very obvious what happened to her at conferences. So she went to the British American Project conference in London in the fall of 2014.
She was getting knocked out the park.
2013. Sorry, that's before the death. And there's a lot of rich, influential guys there. And she goes to the Coca-Cola conference in Atlanta. There's this very wealthy advertising executive and an assistant coach for the Cleveland Browns that she was hanging out with there. I know this sounds crazy. How could they be involved? But those are men that...
And she told you about the Coca-Cola guy?
Yeah.
Yo, Jeff was naming
Just
names.
a rich guy, advertising agency, Coca-Cola. And he's at this conference in... when was that conference? April of 2014. She attended that conference. There wasn't that many attendees. And pretty sure she had sex with him. I don't know if that means he killed anybody.
Wow.
And it's the strengths coach for the Browns. I think he's Google Browns coach, Coca-Cola scholar. He's on there.
The guy that's the Coca-Cola executive is also the strength coach?
No, it's called Coca-Cola Scholars. It's a program, a conference. So there's 2 guys there. And Wendy had talked to me about having sex with multiple guys on multiple days, so I don't think you can say, well, she was at the conference, she was with Mehul, so she didn't have sex with this guy,
It's wild that he says Wendy talked to him about this. I don't know what these people be on. I couldn't be. I'm glad I don't have to worry about that. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments in the chat. Jeff was up here singing. He was naming names. He said Coca-Cola, Miguel. Somebody who works for the Cleveland Browns. I don't know. She was smashing all of them. My goodness. He was so mad too. And Wendy was telling him about it. That's the worst part. And he's like, oh yeah, Jeff. Guess what I did last night? But this little giggle right here. This little giggle she had. She was talking to Jeff. Look.
To arrest me.
It was amazing. And Jeff was just sitting there taking it. Ugh, gosh. All right. Shout out to the gang, man. We got 2,200 of y'all in here. Over 2,000 of you have liked the video. Thank you. I think we're going to go ahead and call it a weekend. We will be live tonight for another episode of Song of the Night Live. If y'all enjoy independent artist music and you want to support some of the artists in the community, make sure you stop by the show tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link for that will be up shortly following the ending of this live stream. Thank you to everyone who supported. Big shout out to everyone who went the extra mile and sent in super chats as well. Slim Life, Mary, J Money, In Blue, and then of course the awesome, amazing Amy. I hope y'all have a great rest of your afternoon. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any time that we go live or drop a new video. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed, guys, subscribe. Like the video on your way out. And I appreciate y'all. You know what to do. Keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classy. We gone. Peace. Shout out to the gang.